You are watching NorCal Sports TV's live coverage of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here at Kennelly Field on the beautiful campus of Dominican University of California. Ethan Estrada for his time here in Game 3 of 6. We are almost halfway done, and this one will be between the Notre Dame Dana-Moore Argonauts and the Biola Eagles. Both of these teams suffered losses in their first games. The Argonauts were down 5-1 late in the, halfway through the second half, clawed their way back and ended up with a 6-4 deficit. And Biola, their defense just couldn't find a way to stop Concordia Irvine's offense and lost 10-2 back in game number 2, and now we'll see how both teams can recover.
It's interesting how that works, isn't it? Both these teams are 0-1 on the day so far. Obviously, it was not set up that way. These schedules were predetermined, so both these teams 0-1, and somebody's going to come out 1-1, Ethan, and Notre Dame's game definitely was a little bit closer against Dominican. Dominican took that game 6-4. Biola, of course, just played Concordia Irvine, and that final score was 10-2. But this is going to turn out to be a good game right here.
Well, the Argonauts decided to change jerseys, now wearing whites. After a loss, you want to try to shake things up and get things moving in the right direction. And for Biola, it all comes down to their defense. Their defense didn't play very well against Concordia Irvine, and Caleb Koopman had no help in front of him.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, we were watching the Concordia defense, and then we were watching the Biola defense. And Biola was really playing a man-to-man, suffocating. But the only problem was when the opposing attacking team got really close to the cage, the defense sucked in, and that really took the vision away from the goalkeeper, Caleb Koopman. And if they can do maybe not change up the defensive philosophy, but give Koopman a little more vision on the field, it would definitely serve them well, at least defensively here in this game against Notre Dame.
Well, the two goalkeepers will be Caleb Koopman once again for Biola, and a change in the cage for the Argonauts. Julian Lewis will take over in the crease as we get ready for the face-off in the center circle. It'll be Tristan Corpus. We saw him take care of all of the face-offs for the Argonauts in game 1 against the Dominican Penguins, and I can't quite tell.
I think it's going to be Scannell. That would be my guess. He took all the face-offs in the game against Concordia.
And here we go. The Argonauts able to win the first face-off. Tristan Corpus wins it, and now here we go into the crease, and right away the Argonauts strike. Not even 30 seconds in.
10 seconds. Boy.
And the Notre Dame Dana-Moore Argonauts strike first, and the Biola defense continues to struggle as Ethan Gilbert puts it in the back.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Notre Dame team, where we're positioned here at Kennelly Field, they were off to our right on the hill. They stuck around. They watched the game between Biola and Concordia, and smartly they watched that game, and scouting, if you will, what they were going to do against Biola. And tell you what, they stuck to that game plan, and they came out firing 10 seconds in.
The Argonauts lose control of the face-off between Tristan Corpus and Scannell. Biola trying to keep control. A hard stick check right there, but able to maintain control.
I'd like to see Langer do a little more offensively for Biola. Ethan Langer, the junior from Beaverton, Oregon, at 6'5". He's up there 6'5", 6'6". He's a big guy, and we saw him shoot in that game against Concordia. He could put a lot of velocity on the ball, and I'd like to see him be a little more active here in this second game for Biola.
Biola maintaining a very patient offense. We saw that a lot against Concordia Irvine, and it looks like the Argonauts taking a page out of Concordia and giving Julian Lewis a lot of vision and a lot of creases to see where the watch ball movement.
Well, I was just going to allude to that, Ethan. It seems like they've gone with that zone look here as well against Biola, and it worked for Concordia. I don't remember if Notre Dame was playing that in the first game against Dominican, but they saw that it worked against Biola for Concordia, so they said, hey, you know what, why not? Just as you mentioned, we'll take a page out of the book if it was successful on defense.
And the shot, and we're all knotted up at 1. Biola able to break through to the crease, through the crease, and into the back of the net. Can't tell exactly who it was.
He needs to turn around.
No,
turn around so we can see your number, son.
No numbers on the front of the jerseys. A little bit difficult, but either way, it is 1-1.
Here we go, Ethan. He's going to turn around for you. That's Austin Gawecki. He was active offensively in the game against Concordia. Had a lot of possession time.
Austin Gawecki ties us up. So here we go, another face-off in the middle between Corpus and Scannell, and different person in the face-off circle for the Argonauts.
That's Bennett Duffy.
And he takes the shot, and Caleb Koopman able to stop Bennett Duffy's shot, well short of hitting the back of the cage.
Something that I've noticed Notre Dame do on offense here so far is both their shots on cage have been low. And really thinking about it, that's where Concordia had success on their shots against Biola in that game, that last game that we just did. And a lot of those Concordia goals did come in low, and we mentioned 2 or 3 of them went right between the legs of Caleb Koopman.
Austin Gawecki working around a couple of Concordia defenders. Hard stick check to the back of the leg. Able to get it back in, and lay some lumber, but throw the flag and threw an elbow somewhere in there.
And that's Zach Waits, and he's a big dude on defense for Notre Dame.
Zach Waits called for the penalty, threw an elbow to lay him out. Austin Gawecki on the receiving end of that hard body check. It'll remain Biola possession after the flags flew.
We saw 2 goals, Ethan, in the first 2 minutes. Something that we saw at Biola Concordia. They were 1-1 in the first couple of minutes, and then Concordia decided to run away with it.
16 minutes here in the first half of game number 3, and the shot right away, that's what you'd call a grandma's shot. She'd cheer for that, but it hit the wrong side of the net, and Julian Lewis able to pick it up and give it to one of his offensive attackers. And moving forward across midfield is Mikey Haas, as they begin to slow down their attack a little bit more, be a little bit more methodical with this Biola defense.
And McFarland's taking his time. Initial pressure. Ooh, tripped up.
McFarland tripped up. The flag will fly. A little bit of a scrum on the ground ball. Well, the referee will blow his whistle. And looks like it'll stay in.
It should stay in possession of Notre Dame, as McFarland was tripped up. They're going to sort things out here.
15 minutes left here in game number 3 of the West Coast Private University Showcase, live on NorCal Sports TV. Ethan Estrada, Forrest Hunt. Well, we've been here for about 2 games in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's been fun so far.
No, it really has. You see a lot of action, a lot of physicality. You see Adam Sub is going to start out with the ball on this near sideline, Ethan. But, it's going to be interesting how Sub comes out of this break right here, if he's going to attack Koopman right away, as the officials are still trying to get situated. But I'd expect Sub to attack Koopman right away. They saw the lack of success that Koopman had in the cage in that game against Concordia, and right away they scored in 10 seconds. So you know that you can attack and you can get there early. The defense now for Biola does decide to try and spread out.
So Stube gives it off to Duffy. Duffy to Gilbert. Gilbert, the goal scorer for the Argonauts, and now working around the cage. And that's something that we saw the Argonauts do against Dominican, and they had a lot of success with it.
Yeah, they did. In that second half, Ethan, as we recall, Dominican was leading 4-0 at the end of the first half. Notre Dame started working around the cage, the back of the cage in the second half, caught the Dominican defense off guard. Not enough to come all the way back, but a strategy to build on.
McFarland throws it back upfield, given back to Duffy. As Notre Dame being very patient. Now a lot of stick checking going on. The closer McFarland gets to the crease, he gives it off to Gilbert, and the shot taken, and Koopman there to take it away.
Yeah, that was a nice save by Koopman.
But a poor pass by Koopman gives the ball right back to the Argonauts, and Koopman can't find anything to go right now. The ball rolling towards the sideline, saved by an Argonaut. That was Adam Sub. Biggest
thing for Koopman, Ethan, in the cage for Biola is going to be flushing that first game. You have to flush the 10 goals.
A hard, long, far shot over the top pipe and over the cross of Koopman will go out, and the Argonauts will maintain control. That was Nathan Shallett on the shot, and we got a lost shoe.
Yeah, we do. Somebody lost a wheel. And that's going to be somebody for Notre Dame. That's McFarland.
And Jake McFarland, very pivotal, especially with the offense working around the cage for the Argonauts.
They might tape it to his ankle.
The referee blows his whistle to resume play. Eloise now in for McFarland, who's putting back on his shoe. Getting stick check, gives it off to Bennett Duffy, who passes it to A.J. Coudray. Notre Dame being a lot more patient. 35 seconds on the shot clock. That's something new to watch out for with just under 12 minutes left here in the first half of Game 3. Bennett Duffy takes the shot, and Koopman with a nice save. Duffy able to get the ball back, but a hard stick check by a Biola defender goes to no avail.
And that's the best save we've seen from Koopman so far here today.
As Ethan Gilbert was able to scoop it up, he gives it back to Coudray. To Sub. The shot clock reset, 60 seconds, with 11.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Duffy passes it back to Sub. Sub with a shot, and he finds the back of the cage. 2-1, the Argonauts break the tie.
Once again, Ethan, the shot by Sub. Caleb Koopman, it was low left. It's another goal that's gotten by Koopman down low. And I don't know if one of his defenders was in his line of sight. They had a lot of them stacked up right here on this angle, right at the goal. Right in our perspective, actually, is about the angle that Sub got that shot off at. And, well, Koopman so far he's having trouble with the low shots. We saw him save 2 attacks from Notre Dame just now on shots that were up chest high. So far, those low shots giving him trouble.
So the face-off down the center line. Scannell for the Eagles, and Corpus for the Argonauts as the Argonauts win the face-off. Mikey Haas throws it forward, trying to work around the cage now.
Really taking their time to set up this offense, aren't they?
The Biola defense just following whoever they can around. Mikey Haas gives it off to Coudray. Back to Haas. Playing catch with the Pearl. Trying to find a lane to work with to take a shot. That's Alois. And he gives it back to Shallett. Shallett with a nice spin move, evaded the defender. Gives it back to Alois, who fakes the shot and gives it back. And now Shallett gives it off to Haas, working around a couple of defenders, takes the shot in wide of the near pipe. It'll go out and it will remain Argonaut control. McFarland, who finally put back on his shoe, is back into the game, trying to work around the defender, takes the shot and wide of the far pipe this time, and it will remain with the Argonauts.
Trying to create his own space there was McFarland. Josh Bernstein, the defender for Biola, was all over him, tried to jump and create space, and the shot was just too wide.
Alois pushing towards the crease, takes the shot and wide of the near pipe. They've had plenty of opportunities, but to no avail.
And I think he was lucky there that it went wide of the pipe, because it did go out, and it's still Argonaut ball. If he would have shot it right at the pipe, the keeper, Koopman, was actually in perfect position there.
Oh, and there's a shot on goal, and that right there was number 2, A.J. Coudray. He widens the margin of lead for the Argonauts, 3-1.
Another one, Ethan, one hop. And one hopped into the goal. I think Koopman's having a hard time picking the ball up off the turf.
Koopman having a hard day. That's the 13th goal in 2 games
Yeah.
for the Biola goalkeeper.
And we're only in the first half.
As Bennett Duffy goes to the center circle for the Argonauts for this face-off.
Notre Dame offense right now looks pretty good. They've been patient. When they find a crease, I should say when they find an alley in the crease, they've really done a good job attacking it and exposing Koopman in the cage.
And that was Tanner Myatt. Biola tried to shake things up on the face-off as they've had no success in either game so far in face-offs against Concordia or the Argonauts, and Myatt, same result. Bennett Duffy gives it off to Haas. Working around a defender as Shallot tried to lay the screen. He was left wide open, takes the shot, and nice save by Caleb Koopman.
That's the first save we've seen for Koopman that's below his waist.
And a poor pass by Biola slows everything down. Had a little bit of momentum. It rolls out of bounds, and the Argonauts keep control. Biola just trying to find something to work.
They shot themselves in the foot there on that attack. Haven't had much of an opportunity to attack so far in the first 12-plus minutes, and they won't have an opportunity here either.
That was Koo, who trying to do the fast pass didn't work. Nobody was open, and a poor pass by Julian Lewis, but his offense is able to maintain control of the ball. That is Eloise. Eloise, a lot of stick checks, and he finally loses the ball. Ground ball, and it's scooped up by the Eagles. And now another stick check works, and Eloise that time is there to pick it off the ground. And here come the Argonauts with their patient attack.
They're really slowing things down here, aren't they? Trying to find a seam.
6 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock here in Game 3 of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here on NorCal Sports TV. Dominican versus Notre Dame de Namur was Game 1. Dominican won 6-4. Game 2 was Biola versus Concordia Irvine. Concordia Irvine won 10-2. And here Notre Dame leading 3-1 after that shot goes wide past the far post. That was Ethan Gilbert looking for his second goal of the game. But instead it goes wide, but it will maintain an Argonaut control.
Be interesting to see if head coach Aaron Klett for Biola keeps Koopman in the cage in the second half after giving him 13 goals so far in a game and a half.
Just under 6 minutes here in the second half. The referee will blow his whistle, and Biola will get control after a foul was committed. Biola trying to work around it. A poor pass. Oh my, Biola. Just hoping for something to go their way.
Self-inflicted errors. Taking him out of this game in the last couple of minutes.
3-1. Notre Dame de Namur leads Biola. Both teams lost their first games today as the Argonauts try to go around the world. Shallot, and eventually gets to Gilbert. Looks like he was going to dump it off, working across a couple defenders, takes the shot, and good save by Koopman. Just got a piece of it.
It's 2 in a row. They've tried to go low twice in a row now on Koopman. I think he sensed that opposing teams are going to attack him below the waist.
Here they come, and a one hop into the far post, and it scores 4-1 NDNU, and it looks like Eloise put that in.
Yeah, he did. That was a nice shot once again on one hop. Sound like a broken record, but folks, it's now 4-1, and it's not a broken record. The clock is still rolling here. And another shot that one hops past Caleb Koopman.
Caleb Koopman having a rough game. Well, rough 2 games.
Yeah, so far, he's still got 1 to go. Still got another half.
14 goals given up by the Biola defense as another face-off between Scannell and Corpus. That is Bennett Duffy who scoops it up and making a fast break for it, looking for somebody open, and the shot goes wide to the far post. That was Jake McFarland. Just put a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, he had a good shot, too. He had a good look. Nobody in front of him, just him and the keeper. Just a foot or 2 wide.
The Argonauts will now go a little bit more patient attack here, leading 4-1, just under 4 minutes. Shot clock down to 55 seconds. The shot clock, something very new, and we've only seen it come into effect once today.
Yeah, it was at the end of that game, at the end of the first half, actually, that Concordia-Biola game.
As here comes McFarland again, another shot on goal, and he got it. 5-1, the Argonauts keep pouring on a 4-goal lead with 3:11 remaining. This Biola defense, like a water strainer. letting everything go through.
And thankfully for Biola, after this game, Ethan, they don't play until Game 6. So they're going to have a little bit of a break and a chance to really talk about especially the defense and the play in the cage.
Loose ball after the face-off and eventually won by the Argonauts. That's a Mikey Haas pushing the ball forward as Notre Dame, Dana Moore looking to keep putting on the pressure. Another thing that's very much hurt Biola is their lack of victories in face-offs.
Yes.
They don't really have a lot of time to keep possession on their attacking half.
No, not a lot at all.
The referee will blow the whistle.
And that's another goal, Ethan. That's Bennett Duffy. He skipped it right. You look down to look at your little roster here, and just like that, Duffy puts another one in the back of the net.
6-1. The Argonauts keep pouring it on, and I guess that's the strategy when you play Biola.
It seems to be.
Don't give up.
Well, we saw it in the first game, and Notre Dame saw it in the first game, especially. They saw Dominican out to a 5-1 lead. They cut it, and Dominican won 6-4. So if anybody knows that a team can come back in the second half, it is this Notre Dame team.
Face off in the center circle between Scannell and Corpus. Won by the Argonauts once again, but after a loose ball, ground ball, the Argonauts will maintain possession. Lack of wins on face-offs have definitely hurt the Biola team in general. They didn't have a lot of face-off victories against Concordia, and they're yet to win one here against NDNU. Just being patient, trying to work around the cage as the Argonauts look to continue to pour on, and a poor pass, and Biola might have an opportunity. Play resumes after the referee blows his whistle. A hard stick check, and he got dewanded.
What a play on defense by Notre Dame. He had a one-on-one there. Knocked the stick right out of his hands. Almost no chance, Ethan, when you don't have a stick in your hand. You could kick it, but I don't know about that one.
No, that was Sub cradling the ball. The ball will go out, and it'll be Biola control after Coudray couldn't maintain possession. Biola finally with a chance on offense, but with 20 seconds left here in the first half.
You got to get it across midfield, and you got to get into attacking position. They don't have much time.
Biola trying to push it across the center stripe. They finally do, but a poor pass is finally being able to be scooped up by Tanner Hyatt and into the back of the net. Biola finally breaks the goose egg, and Tanner Hyatt indeed. 6-2. I forgot they scored a goal.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
First minute or two.
Time will finally expire here in the first half, and much needed for Biola, down 6-2. And in the last couple of games, they've been outscored 16-3.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. And, I bet you Caleb Koopman is really going to get some instructive words from his sideline, some constructive criticism, and some words of encouragement, too, going into the second half.
Well, that'll do it for the first half. The Argonauts lead at 6-2 over the Biola Eagles. When we return, we will have the second half of Game 3 of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here on NorCal Sports TV. And you are watching live coverage of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here on NorCal Sports TV. Ethan Estrada, Forrest Hunt, live from Kennelly Field on the beautiful campus of Dominican University of California. Well, Biola just it's not been their day. Lost their first game 10-2. I mean 10-1. 10-2. I was correct the first time. 10-2.
Go with your gut.
Yeah, my gut's always right. And now they're down to Notre Dame Dana Moore 6-2. Caleb Koopman just getting no help from his defense.
He's getting no help, and also every attack has been low. We saw Concordia do it. Concordia was attacking Koopman very low, below the waist. One-hoppers were scoring, and Notre Dame was over here sitting on the hill. We talked about they were sitting on the hill watching that game going, wow, Concordia's having a lot of success shooting low on Caleb Koopman. Let's do that. 5 of their 6 goals have one-hopped into the cage.
And Biola having no success on faceoffs, and that's really hurt them so far, not allowing their offense to get set.
That is very true. Then you said it. They haven't won a faceoff yet. And when you don't win a faceoff, you can't have offensive possession unless you're really strong on defense, which so far Biola is not very strong on defense. Defense is not creating turnovers. Therefore, they need to be much better here at the faceoff so you get any sort of offensive possession.
And they've even tried multiple people at faceoff. Scanal usually there at faceoff. He hasn't won one yet today. They even tried Tanner Myatt once, and same result.
Yeah, you expect that a little bit from Tanner Myatt, the freshman, but when you're talking about Garrett Scanal, the junior, you think maybe the upperclassmen will have a little more success, they have a little more experience. That's not the case.
Well, here we go for half number 2, 20 minutes on the clock. As Tristan Corpus goes back in for Notre Dame. Dana Moore for the face-off, and it is won by the Argonauts once again. Scanal, same result, different half.
Corpus may be the best face-off man we've seen in all 3 games as well so far here today. That doesn't help Biola at all either.
Nathan Shallot with a one-hop pass, looking for Mikey Haas. He loses control. He's able to scoop it up, but waves it off, and referee
pulling the card out of his pocket, and he's going to give possession to Biola.
So Biola now with control of the ball after a bit of confusion, and now Biola has a chance to do something on offense. Jacob Newport, first time I've called his name today. There's been minimal opportunities. Austin Goecki finds it. It's good, 6-3. Biola is starting to climb right back in, and Austin Goecki with the goal.
Yeah, Notre Dame went with the change in the cage. As we saw in the first goal, Garrett Netter was the goalkeeper. Now Julian Lewis here in the second game against Biola, and Lewis has allowed 3 goals. And if you compare that to Netter, that's better than that first game. Netter allowed 4 goals, but Lewis, he's not looking super great in the goal for Notre Dame. And we know that, yeah, he's only given up 3, but Biola has only had really 4 or 5 offensive possessions.
So here we go, another face-off. This time it's Bennett Duffy against Scanal, and the Argonauts win it again.
Yep.
Another face-off won by the Argonauts, pushing it forward. Bennett Duffy gives it off, and the shot wide of the far pipe.
They decided they were going to go quick.
That was Jake McFarland airing it just wide.
We got a problem here as Caleb Koopman had to bring it in.
Biola trying to push it forward. That is Jacob Mendoza finally able to get across the halfway line. But a poor pass after a hard stick check, and all of a sudden the Argonauts got it right back. That's Adam Sub. Gives it off to Shallot, and the shot finds the back of the cage. Jake McFarland. 7-3. They get the goal right back.
I'm sure you can guess where he shot it. Low. Went down low to the right side of Caleb Koopman. Once again, he went down with his cross. Could not get there in time. He's just slow getting that cross down, trying to block it. The one success that we did see Caleb Koopman have on a ball that was low, that one hopped, he blocked it with his chest, Ethan. It went up in his shirt. That was the one time that we saw Koopman really have success on shots that were low.
Well, now we'll see if Biola can get something going, especially in the faceoff. Tristan Corpus back in there. And here we go, and it looks like the Argonauts are going to win it again. That is Couteret pushing the ball forward, getting stick checked by Langer, able to get it off to Alois.
They went quick and they scored last time, Ethan, in the 7-3 lead. I wouldn't be surprised if they go quick again.
Nathan Shallot lost control momentarily, able to scoop it back up, gives it back to Couteret, as Argonauts now just being a little bit more patient. 57 seconds on the shot clock as the game clock continues to wind down to about under 16 and a half minutes. Nathan Shallot lost it, but Biola can't corral it. It'll roll out and be Argonaut ball.
Pretty good angle to attack here, Ethan, on this near sideline. I'd expect him to go quick. We saw in that first half, Notre Dame was really methodical. They were slow, setting up the offense. Scored very quickly here in the second half. Really pressuring the cage and pressuring inside that crease.
Here comes Shallot as the referee blows the whistle to resume play. Trying to work around the cage, find an open lane. Notre Dame being methodical as Couteret able to work around a couple of defenders, gives it off to Alois. Back to McFarland.
Ooh, it looked like he had a shot opportunity there. You
Gives
thought so too.
Gives a screen to Duffy. Back to McFarland. McFarland got stick checked and the ball sailed on him and rolled out of bounds. And they'll give control back to the Argonauts. Alois sends it back up the middle. A lot of contention for that one, and the ball will roll, but the referee will blow his whistle. And here we go again, Biola ball. Langer will start it off, sends a long pass across the halfway stripe and lost control. Biola trying to win for it in a hard body check. That was Justin Lassiter who laid the lumber, but he can't corral the ball for long enough as Austin Gawecki gets it back.
We were 5 minutes into the second half, Ethan, and not as much scoring as I expected, to be honest with you, coming into this second half of the game.
Langer, the tall, lanky attacker or midfielder for Biola, can generate a lot of power, but the Argonauts able to take the ball right back. That is Zach Waits.
You know, Langer was the one that I thought, Ethan, that Biola really had to get going offensively. He creates a lot of velocity on shots, and so far here in this game, he really hasn't been a factor. He's been a factor on defense. We saw him hit the ball out of the cross of McFarland, and that's about the extent of the action that he's had here in half number 2.
Ethan Waits had a good fast break and is able to set up a good offensive opportunity for the Argonauts. Mikey Hawes pushing the ball forward along that far sideline. They go around the world, around the cage. Nathan Shallot now with control. He gives it off to Sub. Trying to push forward. And the shot by Alois, and it's deflected by an Eagle defender.
Yeah.
It'll go out and maintain Argonaut ball.
Yeah, Koopman didn't even get a chance to try and save that one.
Looked like it was off the cross of Michael Howard. Alois fakes the pass, gives it right back. Trying to work around, takes the shot and just wide of the far pipe, Mikey Hawes.
Alois is one of the more elusive attackers that we've seen. He's very skilled with the cross. We've seen a lot of fake passes from Alois. A lot of good hard shots, too.
Hard stick check behind the cage, working around, and he lost possession finally. The Biola defense able to create a turnover and now have a fast break along the near sideline right in front of us. That is Josh Bernstein. Dumps it off to Jacob Newport. As Biola now with an offensive opportunity. They do have 3 goals, but they've only scored 5 goals compared to the 17 they've given up today.
Yeah, not a good ratio if you're looking to win a game.
Hard body check, but the referee will let play resume as they maintain control of the ball, and great save by Julian Lewis, who just got in the way of that one-hop shot. Here comes Sub on the counterattack, pushing the ball forward. Finds Alois looking towards the crease, trying to work around without stepping in, and he'll just slow down and let his offense set itself up.
Yeah, that was really good defense there by Biola and Eamon Koo, really pushing him out. He was trying to penetrate the crease with his cross. He could not do it, and then give credit there to the Biola defense.
Mikey Haas pushing forward, trying to find a lane. Oh, made a man miss beautifully. Fakes the short pass, takes the shot, and finds the back of the cage. 8-3, Argonauts.
Found the 0 hole once again, right between the legs of Caleb Koopman. It's the 4th time that's happened to Koopman so far in the last 2 games.
8-3, the Argonauts lead it just under 11 and a half minutes here at Kennelly Field as you're watching the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here on NorCal Sports TV. Ethan Estrada and Forrest Hunt as we are starting to conclude game number 3. We'll be here for all the way through game number 6, and the Argonauts trying to win another face-off. They have yet to lose one. Oh, and there it is! Biola finally able to win a face-off and set up their offense for what could be a momentum swinging goal.
Could be, and we'd like to remind you that game 4 coming up, it'd be Concordia Irvine, who put up 10 goals on Biola, against Dominican, who put up 6 goals on Notre Dame. Both those teams 1-0.
8-3 in this one here in game 3 as the second half continues to wind down. As we keep getting closer to the 10-minute mark, 55 seconds on the shot clock for Biola. The ball will go far over the head of a Biola offender, go out of bounds, and it will be Argonaut ball. Referee blows the whistle to resume play. Argonauts able to get it across. That is Ethan Gilbert, who received a hard stick check to the ribs. There goes Bennett Duffy towards the crease, takes the shot. And just off of a couple deflections, it'll go out, and it will be Argonaut ball.
Yeah, he shot high. That time, Caleb Koopman able to get the stick up. Deflected away.
Ethan Gilbert will remain in. Mikey Haas comes off for the Argonauts as the offense continues to try to push the ball forward. Dumps it off to Nathan Shallett. Alois trying to get a spin move, but I don't think he knew he lost the ball.
No, he had no clue.
But Biola can't recover, and Couture there to come in and swoop it up. Sends it in for Sub. Try to get it in, but Koopman there to scoop it up right between his legs, looking for that 0 hole once again, but to no prevail.
That's the first time that Caleb Koopman's been able to get his cross down there and really deflect from that 0 hole.
Biola can't keep control right in front of us. It'll go out, and it'll be Argonaut ball. Biola not having a lot of success on offense. Their passes definitely not as crisp as you'd like, and especially when you watch Notre Dame on offense, they're looking great. Cradling the ball, Mikey Haas. As Notre Dame being a lot more patient here. 65 seconds on the shot clock. 8 minutes, 45 seconds on the game clock. A 5-goal lead for the Argonauts as the ball is loose. Ground ball picked up once again. That was Alois. Gives it off to McFarland. Back to Couture, trying to make a man miss. Trying to get close to the crease. Gives it back off to McFarland, and they'll reset and go around the world. Gilbert throws it back. Trying to find an open lane is Sub, and it'll go off the deflection of Koopman, and another nice save.
That's 2 in a row for Koopman now. He's starting to figure it out in the cage.
The
of course,
ball went.
He's a freshman, so
He'll have plenty of time.
Oh, of course.
The ball went through the big goal, the soccer goal here at Kennelly Field. A little bit of delay in time, and the shot by Haas. He tried to go fast and catch Koopman off guard, but off of the deflection, it'll remain Argonaut ball. That's Tristan Corpus getting ready to resume play. You can see a little bit more different look here from the Argonaut offense. Corpus in. Ethan Gilbert remains in. He's usually one of the first substitutions to come off. As Gilbert makes a man miss, a nice little dump pass for Sub. Sub takes the shot and right into the cross of Caleb Koopman. We seem to have figured something out in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, and also the Biola defense has spread out a little bit more. They've gone to more of a zone look too, which also helps the eyes of Caleb Koopman. know where the offensive players are for Notre Dame, and that's helped them out a lot.
Jonathan Shaw tried to get the pass off, and off of the cross of number 17, Tanner Myatt, and Myatt's hit the turf a lot today.
Yeah, he has. That's the 4th time.
Not a fun day. Ball will remain in Biola control. And it's Jacob Newport working around the cage, dumps it off to Langer. Langer with that long wingspan, able to get to that wide pass. Myatt trying to get the shot off, but he loses control of the ball, and it's scooped up right away. Pushing the ball forward across the mid-stripe. Now here we go on a fast break. He will not take the shot. Yes, he will, but a little bit too hard was Alex Elifritz.
It's the first time we've seen Elifritz, of course, a defender with possession, running the length of the field, going coast to coast. Shot was just a bit too high.
Biola will keep control. Give the ball right back to Caleb Koopman. The ball loose, rolling forward, but well enough for Biola to keep control. Cole Baker gives it off to number 22, Jacob Newport, who puts it on the top shelf and cuts the Notre Dame lead in half. It is 8-4.
Yeah, is it too late for Biola, though? They're starting to get something going offensively. They've already doubled their goal total from their first game. Only trailing by 4. You do have under 6 minutes to go, about 5.5, but this Notre Dame offense has had a lot of time of possession attacking, so that's going to be a problem for Biola going forward in the remaining 5 minutes.
And a big key for Biola will be winning this faceoff. They've only won one today. Well, one in this game. They've only won one in this game, as Bennett Duffy will face off against Scannell. And here we go, and the faceoff will be won by the Argonauts for now, and Duffy picks it up and pushes the ball forward towards the crease. 5 minutes left on the game clock. 72 seconds on the shot clock as the Argonauts try to be patient. Nathan Shallett will go around the world as he gives it to Alois. The Argonauts, who were very aggressive in the middle part of the game, are finally starting to slow things down and try to milk the clock as Jake McFarland pushed the ball towards the crease behind the cage, trying to dump it in, but he was stuffed by Caleb Koopman.
It was a nifty move from Alois there, Ethan. We've talked about he's probably the most skilled player as far as the cross goes. He showcased that there, but a nice save by Caleb Koopman.
Caleb Koopman now way out of the crease, moving it towards the center stripe. Throws it long was Colin Hardy. Working around a couple of Argonaut defenders. Michael Howard, the referee, will blow his whistle to slow things down. And it looks like it was a foul against, oh no, might be a timeout here.
Looks like it is a timeout, Ethan, called on the field. I got to stop the clock at 4:02. And we talked about it, Ethan, with a 4-goal lead. And if you're Notre Dame, if you just keep the ball in the attacking half, there will be a point in this game where all you have to do is milk the clock. You only have a few minutes left, and it's pretty much all but over at that point.
And it also very much helps that Notre Dame has won all but one faceoff today. When you win faceoffs, it means you get a lot more time of possession in your attacking half. And Biola's only won one in this game, and I don't remember them winning a lot against Concordia either.
Yeah, well, the upside for Biola here is they were trailing 6-2 at half, and the play in the cage from Caitlin Koopman has gotten a lot better.
Not a lot of weaknesses left in that Biola cage, as Koopman has definitely figured some things out. Finally being able to get down and stop that one hop shot that, like you would say, would go through the zero hole.
Yeah.
As now Biola is starting to try to mount a rally.
Yeah, we'd like to remind you that Game 4 is coming up right here on NorCal Sports TV. Concordia Irvine against Dominican. Both teams are 1-0. Both these teams, Notre Dame and Biola, are 0-1. So one team will come out of here with their first win of the day. And, of course, we have 6 games, and we're in Game 3 right now.
As we are winding down to the halfway mark of the day. Notre Dame, Dana Moore leads Biola 8-4 as you're watching live coverage of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here on NorCal Sports TV. Ethan Estrada and Forrest Hunt live from Kennelly Field on the beautiful campus of Dominican University of California. And well, You'd like Biola to play with a little bit more urgency here.
Yeah, I think so, and I really think I'm going back to Harrison Langer. He's got to be a force on the offensive side for Biola, and he's one of those midfielders that he's been very good on defense. He's been active on defense here in the second game, but not so much on offense, and I'd like to see him be a little more active on the offensive side of the ball, as well as Jacob Newport.
Coming out of the timeout, we have 4:02 on the game clock, 54 seconds on the shot clock. That's how long Biola has to attempt a shot on goal. Julian Lewis has not played, well, it looks like he hasn't played as well as the last goalie against Dominican, but now there's Harrison Langert, just like he wanted. Scannell gives it off to Michael Howard. The shot, and there's a good save by Lewis. Ball still live on the ground. A lot of physicality looking forward, and in the end it is won by the Argonauts as they continue to push the ball across midfield. That is Asher Minnick, and he'll give it off to Jake McFarland. McFarland running around the goal, trying to find an open lane as he cradles the ball, gives it off to Nathan Shallett. Back to Mikey Haas. Back, who throws it off to Duffy. Duffy dumps it off. Back to Shallett.
Wouldn't be surprised if you see Notre Dame really slow things down here offensively, not really take a shot unless they have an open one like they did right there.
Ethan Gilbert took the shot, sailed over the top pipe. It'll remain in Argonaut control.
They're not going to try and force anything here with under 3 minutes to go with a four-goal lead.
2:50 left on the game clock as the Argonauts continue to be very patient. Sub's little dump off pass to Bennett, but in the end, even Biola can't scoop it up. The shot, and there it is, back of the cage. Nathan Shallett, 9-4. The Argonauts lead it, and that Biola goal differential looking worse and worse.
Yeah, and I tell you what, if you're Caleb Koopman, you don't want to give up double-digit goals in back-to-back games. He's having a rough day. And you lose the first one 10-2, and all of a sudden you cut the lead half. It was 8-4 a moment ago until that goal made it 9-4. And now if you're Koopman, you're really just focused on not giving up that 10th goal.
So another face-off in the middle stripe. It will be Scannell once again for Biola. And I guess they're sticking with him even though he's only won one face-off in this game.
Well, they've gone to a couple freshmen, and they haven't gotten the job done, so you stick with the junior Scannell.
But it's hard when you say that, just like you said, Tristan Corpus has been the best at faceoff today as he wins another one. Couteret pushes the ball forward past the center stripe, gives it off, trying to give it off to McFarland. McFarland can't get it, but in the end it's scooped up by Sub. Gives it back to Alois, who does a little flick pass over to Bennett Duffy. Trying to find a lane, trying to work around Harrison Langer, and that's a hard one to work around. Back to Alois. Alois with a little bit of fancy footwork. Fake the flick to Shallett. And in the end, he'll pass it off to Bennett Duffy. Just under a minute and 15 seconds left here in the second half. Notre Dame leads it 8-4.
If you're Notre Dame, you get a shot off here, and then you
9-4.
Then if you're Notre Dame and you get a shot off here, and then you get another chance on offense, you can pretty much milk the clock away.
Now Biola with an offensive opportunity. That is Garrison Thompson. Gives it off to Jonathan Shaw. Back to Thompson as Biola just trying to get a goal to make themselves feel better, but with 36 seconds left and 59 seconds left on the shot clock, Harrison Langer taking as much time as he wants.
Yeah, he's going to take some time, and well, if you're Caleb Koopman, you didn't give up double-digit goals in back-to-back games.
The shot taken, deflected by Lewis, and Lewis just gets in the way of every shot. 15 seconds on the clock. The clock continues to roll. And it looks more and more like Notre Dame Dana Moore will pick up their first victory on the day. Harrison Langer takes the shot. Lewis able to stop it. 3, 2, 1. That's the game. Notre Dame Dana Moore beats Biola 9-4. And while Biola, not a good game, not a good day for them. Goal differential on the day, 19-6. and Concordia finally able to pull one out after they almost came back and beat Dominican. They ended up losing that one 6-4. They finally able to pull out a good victory, 9-4.
Well, we thought that was going to be a good game, Ethan, between both teams that were 0-1. Ended up being a good game for Notre Dame. Biola's going to have to figure some things out before they play the last game of the day, especially in goal with Caleb Koopman. Like you said, the goal differential, they've given up 19, scored only 6. This game coming up, though, game 4 is going to be a good one.
Concordia, Irvine between Dominican, both teams 1-0. Both teams look fairly good in their first game, and like I said earlier, Concordia looked like the best team that we've seen all day, so we'll see if they can keep it up as you're watching the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase here on NorCal Sports TV. When we come back, we will have game number 4.